Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Lily. I am so happy you're here with me. In today's video, I am going to do a junk journal with me session, and this is the layout that I'm going to work on today. I'm going to show you all of the things that I use to create this layout. More than 50% of the items in this layout are from junk, and you'll see as soon as I go over to the Crafty Loft, all of the things that I've already pre-selected to create this. I also thought I would get really creative and do a shaker window out of junk, and this was fun. I can't wait to show you how I did this. I'm also going to share a story about how important it is for you to be kind to yourself and only speak positive things that you yourself are going to hear. Are you ready to junk journal with me? I'll meet you over in the Crafty Loft. Let's go! If you are new to junk journaling, I hope that this provides you with tons of ideas and inspiration. I keep all of my junky junk in this little gift bag, and I just recently went through it because it was overflowing. I'll link that video for you up above so you can see how everything that I gather has been handpicked, and I only keep things that I love and I know that I will eventually use. This is my 2025 junk journal, and I will show you how I make this style of junk journal. I'll have that for you up above or in the description area. It is decorated with a beautiful charm that my sister gave me. It has 2 signatures, and it is getting really, really chunky. I'm hoping to have it full before the end of the year or before it's time for me to work on my holiday junk journal, which starts at the end of October. Let me go through some of these items that I've already pre-selected. Oh, but before that, guess what? As I was beginning to record this video, the mail was dropped off and I received a happy mail from one of my YouTube friends. She is here on YouTube as one of my subscribers. Her name is Angie. Angie, what perfect timing, and let me show you what Angie sent me. How awesome is this? My birthday is coming up on the 15th of August, and for her to have remembered this, Angie, I am sending you a warm embrace. Thank you so much for remembering me on my birthday month. And not only that, but you remembered that I love sunflowers. They are wild during the month of August here in northern Utah. And I know I've told stories in the past how my mother would gather wild sunflowers to create my birthday bouquet. Angie handmade this card. She stamped it on the back, and nothing makes me happier than a handmade greeting card. And Angie's cards are always so amazing. I received one of her cards for Christmas. Thank you so much. And then she included a little present in there, some beautiful little charms in the shape of sunflowers and also some leaves in this like copper gold finish. These are so pretty. I can't wait to use these in an upcoming project. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. So nice of you to do that. It makes me want to hand make some cards. So thank you for that. And now I'm going to go through some of the junky junk that I have pre-selected. Just for the sake of time, I dumped the contents of my little bag and pulled out things that I thought I would use. I may not use 100% of everything here, but I do use most of it. This little Biscoff wrapper, cookie wrapper, biscuit wrapper, I actually got on one of my flights to California, and I don't normally eat cookies, but oh my gosh, I had that one and it was delicious. I'm afraid that I may end up buying a box. And this was junk mail. I just loved that guitar and then that silhouette in the background, so I cut it up so I could use it. And then you know how much I love animal print, and the zebra print is my favorite. And then some little scraps of paper. This cute little teddy bear came from packaging, and I just saved it, and it was in my little junky bag. A lot of packaging here in my junk. This is vellum wrapper from I don't remember what, and then my favorite local coffee shop. I don't buy coffee regularly from coffee shops because I really enjoy the coffee I make at home. But every once in a while, I do treat myself to a coffee, to a coffee, and Beans and Brew is my go-to place, especially when I hang out with my daughters and we'll spend a day going to lunch, or, you know, we just spend a day together. Our first stop is the coffee shop. That little doodly face I just drew on an old book page that I was actually using to clean off my water brush, my paintbrush. So a lot of little junk, this Rubik's Cube sticker, I don't remember where that came from. And then this really pretty box packaging. I bought a set of really cute pens that have a little, like a gummy bear at the tip of it. And so cute. And then this affirmation card, the self-care journal prompt card. I picked these up a while back at Home Goods. I'm so glad that I did because I didn't realize they had journal prompts on the reverse. And in fact, the story I'm going to share with you today has a lot to do with the quote that's on the front of that card. And then we're also going to use some junky papers. I have some chocolate gift wrap and then a piece of a gift bag that I'm going to use. So I believe all of these things kind of coordinate with each other. I'm not about being matchy-matchy. I'm all about using things that I love. And for some reason, they all end up being cohesive in the end, at least to me, and maybe because I just love what I'm looking at. I want to show you something that I received from my friend Margie in Happy Mail a while back. And I've been going through all of my Happy Mail so that I can incorporate it and use it in my junk journal. It's this beautiful library pocket that she made. Isn't that gorgeous? She made this little pocket and then inserted a library card. And she had sent me 3 of them. So I used one to attach to the inside cover of my journal, and I think it's a perfect spot for it. I'm now going to thumb through the pages and then choose the page that I'm going to create my layout on. And I've already done so many layouts. It's getting so chunky. I have a full playlist. I will link that playlist for you up above, but I'm also going to link it for you in the description area and then at the very end. So if you want more inspiration on junk journaling, I have a whole playlist that you can watch. And I'd love for you to share your tips as to how you junk journal. Let me know, please, in the comments section below. I selected this page and I'm going to create a background, but first I'm going to cut this cute little box apart. When I saw these gummy bear pens, oh my, I had to have them. So I kind of splurged on these. And I'll be honest with you, I also bought them because of the packaging. I just not only do I love the pens that were in this box, but also the packaging. And it reminded me of what I used to do when I was in high school. And let me know if you also did this. But when I was in high school back in the 80s, we used to buy the gummy bears and then we would lick the back of the gummy bear and I would stick them to my denim jacket, to the little flap of the pocket on my denim jacket. Did you guys do that? Do you know what I'm talking about? I was telling my kids about that. I'm thinking, oh, maybe they do something, you know, maybe they did something similar when they were in school. They said, no, Mom, that's kind of gross. It is not gross. It was really cute. You take a gummy bear, you lick it so that, you know, because it's candy and it gets gummy and then it just sticks to your denim jacket. And I would just decorate my denim jacket with saliva gummies. So cute. Okay, so I am saving the front window of the packaging. I knew exactly what I wanted to do with this box. I didn't know I would do it for this junk journal layout, but why not? It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and it is almost like a play on the shaker cards. And here it is. I'm thinking about how I'm going to execute this and what I'm going to do. I had the idea. I just didn't have all of the details. So bear with me as I try to figure it out. I'm going to use this junk mail clipping as the background. And then I thought, well, why not use one of my doodly faces and place it over that silhouette? I'm playing around with the idea. But I do know that I want to create a shaker window, and then maybe put some confettis, some sequins in the window, and make it like a shaker. So here we go. Let's see how it turns out. But I had a lot of fun playing around with this. The last time I made anything remotely close is when I was making greeting cards. I haven't made greeting cards in a really long time. So whenever I receive a handmade card, and I let me tell you, I don't receive too many handmade cards. I stopped making them a while ago because I got hooked on buying them. But I really do want to go back to making handmade greeting cards. And Angie's beautiful sunflower card has really inspired me to do so. But I used to make shaker cards for my grandkids for their birthdays, but I haven't made those in a long time. Right now, I am taking apart some of these junky papers, and I'm going to create a backdrop by just layering some of these papers in the background, just to give it more interest. And you'll see sometimes I don't know in advance like what the layout is going to look like. I just wing it. And I have a general idea in my head, but as I begin to work, the style and the execution begins to change. A lot of the times you'll see me put papers down and then I'll layer on top of it. And sometimes I cover up really pretty focal points, but it's okay. It's layering, it's collaging, and it's creating depth and interest on your page. You don't have to do this, but this is just how I do it. And I love a maximalism or a maximalist style of junk journal. I like it to be all over the place. And because I carefully collect everything that I have, I love the way that it looks once it's all said and done. Everything that I save brings me joy. If the junky bits do not bring me joy, they are not going to make it into my little gift bag where I keep everything. Because when I am done with my layout, I want to be able to look back and absolutely love everything about it. And every little thing that I use prompts a memory. I may not do a lot of writing journaling, but there's a lot of visual journaling, and all of these things prompt a memory. Like that little little in and out palm trees. Those are great little things that I save. In-N-Out burgers are my absolute favorite. And I was just telling Eddie how I could eat In-N-Out every single day. In-N-Out and Cafe Rio. I would have to alternate, but I could eat those two at those two places every single day. I just love it so much. Many of you are here for the first time. Thank you so much. I have had a really nice growth with my subscribers, and so I thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time here, I welcome you. This is the type of content that I like to create, and if you would like to subscribe and hang out for a while, I've got plenty more where this is coming from. And a lot of you may already know that I am a full-time realtor, but I also work part-time at Costco in their membership department. I set up memberships all day long. And an experience I recently had with one of the Costco customers is what's prompting a story that I would like to share with you. And it has to do with being kind to yourself. It has to do with self-care. It has to do with a positive mindset. So as I am setting up memberships all day long, if any of you are or have a Costco membership, you know that your picture is taken and your picture is printed on your membership card. And we take hundreds of pictures all day long. And one of the comments I hear most often all day long is how people are not ready for a photograph. And they are sometimes upset or disappointed that we have to take their photograph to print their membership card. The other day I had a gal, and she may have been just a few years younger than me, and I know this because I also, they give me their birthday. So she was just a few years younger than me. By the way, I will be 56 years old, and yeah, and I love every birthday. I love what is my friend? I have a really good friend that says another year around the sun. So I love that. And so I'm looking forward to my 56th birthday. So this gal is just a few years younger than me. And when I tell her that it's time for us, for me to take her picture, she says, oh my gosh, she was being really negative and just saying not so nice things about herself. Things like, had I known that my picture was going to be taken, I would have gotten ready. I would have fixed my hair. I would have put makeup on. I look so ugly. I can't believe that I stepped outside of my house looking like this. I am so ugly. And she kept saying that over and over again, how she was just so ugly. She was not ugly. And I would never, ever, ever think of anybody as being ugly, because you are God's creation. You are not ugly. You are beautiful. And so this lady just kept saying all of these negative things about herself out loud. And normally, I hear this all day long, but that particular day, I had just about had it with the negativity. And I just couldn't take it anymore. And so I told her where to stand so that I can take her photograph. And all along, as she's walking over to the section where we take pictures, she just kept saying how embarrassing, it's going to look horrible, I look terrible, all of those negative things about herself. By the way, when you say things like that out loud, I was hearing them. People around you are going to hear that. But you are hearing it too. You're hearing yourself say all of those negative things about you. And to me, that doesn't make any sense at all. Now, let me tell you, I am super confident. I am not an insecure person. I do, however, have some insecurities, but I will not say those things out loud because I can hear those things. I'll think those things and then immediately eradicate them, immediately, vanish them from my mind, because I'm more confident than I am insecure about those little insecurities. So this lady's going on, and I'm listening, and I'm trying to be empathetic, and I get it. We all have those days where, we feel and, maybe look like sloths. But I would never really come down on myself. You know what? If I didn't style my hair that day, well, then I just didn't style my hair. And if I didn't wear any makeup, then I didn't wear any makeup, and I just go about my day. I'm not going to beat myself over for not wearing mascara or lipstick, because I try to take care of my skin so that on the days that my face is naked, I want to feel good about my face. So I take care of the skin that I have. Makeup is there to enhance your beauty. You're beautiful without the makeup. I love makeup, and I am not a minimalist when it comes to makeup, let me tell you. But I can also go days without it and not feel one bit insecure about it. I can face the world without an ounce of foundation on my skin, and I'm okay with that. I wear makeup because I love it. I love the way it enhances my eyes and my lips, but I'm also okay without it. The point is, don't beat yourself up if you're not, if you chose not to style your hair or get yourself ready with what, in quotation marks, whatever ready is for you. The point is, I don't want you to beat yourself up over it, because not only are you hearing the things that are coming out of your mouth, But there might be little people around you that look up to you, and they're hearing those words come out of your mouth. And those things, I will tell you with certainty that I did not speak out loud as I was raising my 3 daughters. And I have 3 daughters that are super confident, okay? All 3 of them super confident. They're beautiful, they're smart, they're intelligent, and they're confident. And I have not heard my kids ever say anything negative about themselves. Okay, gosh, I get so worked up over this, but let me tell you, I'm very passionate about this, about loving yourself and being kind to yourself. Okay, so back to the lady, back to the lady who I am guiding to take a picture of. All this time, she's still going on and on and on about all of those negative things about her, okay? And she's there with her family. I believe it was her husband, and then she had some older young adult children with her. Finally, she's standing in front of the board where I have to take her picture. And by this time, I had it. All of the negative remarks that she was saying about herself, I was done because I had already had a full day of that and I just couldn't take it anymore. So as I told the lady to stand up against the wall and look over at my camera, because on the count of 3 I was going to take her picture, I said to her, "Will you please smile?" And she was hesitant, like she was just not in the mood. She says, "For what? I am so ugly." And then I stopped. I looked at her and I said, "I think you're beautiful. You look fantastic. And would you say that to your 5-year-old self? Everything that you have just said, do you think you would say that to your 5-year-old self?" Those comments stopped her in her tracks. And as I was telling her that, just like right now, my voice is cracking. My voice was cracking when I was telling her that. Because think about it. Would you say all of those negative things to your 5-year-old self? Of course you wouldn't. Would you say those things to your 5-year-old daughter or your 5-year-old granddaughter? Of course you wouldn't. That's why I am so passionate about what I am saying when it comes to being kind to yourself and loving yourself. It is so important that you take care of the person that you are and feel empowered regardless of what we look like, and walk out with confidence every single day. Well, that comment stopped that lady in her tracks. And I wasn't sure how she was going to take it. I didn't know if she was going to be offended by my comment or if she was going to accept it for what it was. I was just trying to tell her that she was beautiful and to be kind to herself. Don't beat yourself up. Anyway, she looked at me for just a couple seconds, which seemed like an eternity. She looked at me and I saw her gaze reach deep down into my soul. And I could see right into her soul. It's like that moment, time stood still and we connected. And then she said, "Oh my gosh, you're absolutely right." It's not about being right or wrong. Sometimes we just have to check ourselves, and sometimes we need other people to, kind of shake things up a little bit, kind of snap us back, because I think that we are losing control of all of those little things that matter. The gal's picture printed, and I handed it over to her, and she looked at it for a second, and I said, "You look wonderful. You take a really good photograph." And she looked at me and all she did is say thank you with a smile. And her demeanor changed. Everything changed. She was no longer frowning. She was no longer walking with her head down. She kind of walked away with a smile on her face and then showed off her picture to her husband and all of the other people that were around her because they were all excited to see that little picture. And I think that it is just a little reminder for all of us to be kind to ourselves and for us to remember that we are all beautiful human beings. So that is that. I saw my youngest grandchildren over the weekend. On last Friday, my grandson, my 9-year-old grandson was here. He was here for a few hours. And oh my gosh, he just cracks me up. Whenever I'm feeling any kind of sort of way, being surrounded by my grandchildren brings me so much joy. And my middle daughter stopped by Friday morning, not knowing that I was going to be here, and she was dropping off my grandson so that he can spend some time with my dad. And they did. My dad went and took him to Costco and bought him a hot dog and a pizza and then some dessert. He's 9 years old, but let me tell you, he has an appetite. And I had promised him that I was going to take him to In-N-Out, but because he went to go have lunch at Costco with my dad, I didn't get a chance to take him because his dad was going to stop by and pick him up shortly after. But when they came back from lunch, the first thing he says when he walks into the door is, "Okay, Mommy Lily, I'm ready for In-N-Out." I mean, he had just had a hot dog, a slice of pizza, a drink, and also some ice cream or a float that they have there. But yet he was still looking forward to In-N-Out. And you know what? If his dad wouldn't have been close by, I would have probably taken him to In-N-Out. That would have been fun. It's just something that I like to do with my grandkids. I'm mentioning this because there are times where I am feeling maybe a little bit grumpy, or I'm just not I'm in a weird mood. But whenever my grandkids show up, oh my gosh, it just lightened it. It brightens my day. And it was really nice that my middle daughter, Devin, stopped by with my grandson. And then I had my 2 youngest grandbabies on Saturday and Sunday. They had a sleepover with me. And, I talk about how I have a lot of energy, and I do. I'm go, go, go all day long. But keeping up with 2 little grandbabies, a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, oh my gosh. I don't know. I could barely keep up with them, but I had a great time. And my 7-year-old granddaughter loves to craft. And so she was up in my craft room and she was going through all of my crafts, and I just let her, grab whatever it is that she wants. She knows where all the paper is and where my stickers are and glue and glitter, which she absolutely loves. And she came across a box that I have on one of my bookshelves where I keep all of my journaling cards, and especially the cards with positive affirmations. In fact, where I keep the card that is here on the left-hand side under the Beans and Brew coffee sleeve. And she reached for a bunch of the affirmation cards, and she looks over at me. Well, I actually came up to the area where she was, and I asked her if she needed help finding anything specific. And she says, "No, I found all of these happy cards, Mommy Lily." She called them happy cards, you guys. I said, "What happy cards are you talking about?" And she says, "Look, you have all of these happy cards. Do you give these to your friends so that you can make them happy?" You guys, I almost started crying because they are my happy cards. They are the journaling cards that I include in my happy mail and the journaling cards that I include in my junk journals. And she's the reason why I am creating this layout. Because it has to do with the prompt on that journaling card, which reads, "Love the girl you see in the mirror." It's my happy card. And I said to her, "Yes, Bonita, I send those happy cards to my friends. And she says, I love these happy cards. They make me happy. And so she says, can I have one? I said, of course you can. So she grabbed one of the cards and she decorated with stickers. I'm going to go see if I can find it, and I'm going to share the one that she selected and all of the pictures, the stickers that she added to it. I'm going to pop in a picture right here so you can see that. And it was just so cute how she referred to them as happy cards. We need to remember our inner child, that inner child, we still have that inner child in us. And I think that when I made that comment to that gal about, how would she say all those negative things to her 5-year-old self, I think we just forget that we were kids and we should be proud of ourselves and the people that, we've grown to be. I'm sure that your 5-year-old self is very proud of who you are today. I love these cards. I wish I could find more of these. I absolutely love them. I bought them a while back while I was at Home Goods. They were just random, and I picked up the box not knowing that they were going to have these self-care prompts on the reverse side. So I selected this one because I feel that it is relevant in today's story and discussion. Discussion? Oh, it sounds so formal. And the bottom of that card, what I'm filling in, what I'm answering, in case you can't see it, it reads, what do I love about myself? And there are two things that came to mind. I didn't, put too much thought into this, just whatever, was at the top of my mind. But the first one is my confidence. I am very confident. I'm a very confident person. I have a high level of self-confidence. And then I also love my smile. I recently saw a picture of myself where I wasn't smiling, and I didn't like it because I go from happy to frumpy in a split second. So I do love my smile. So, and I like smiling in all of my pictures, and I think a smile keeps you youthful. And then that middle prompt reads, how can I take care of my body today? And I wrote down 30-minute run on my treadmill. And then I go back and in parentheses, I write half marathon training. So I have decided to train for a half marathon, which will take place and participate in a half marathon at the end of October. And I'll share more of that in just a moment. And then the very top reads, what act of self-care can I fit into my day? And I'm writing, I will not stay up late and I will get enough rest. So lately I have been struggling with sleep, and sometimes it'll be 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and I am up and I am doom scrolling on social media, which I'm trying to rid that habit because I want to be in bed early so that I can be productive the very next day. So I'm trying to be in bed no later than 11 o'clock because I like to be up at 7 a.m. But because I'm now marathon training or half a marathon training, I want to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning so I can get my training in first thing in the morning. I'll tell you what motivated me to start the half marathon training. I have been in a slump ever since I got back from my grandma's funeral in California. It's been really hard for me to get back on my treadmill. And so I was sharing this with my youngest daughter's husband, my son-in-law, because he's a runner, he's a marathoner. And I just said, I'm trying to get back into it, but I'm lacking motivation. And he says, I know something that's going to motivate you. And I thought, oh, what could he possibly say to motivate me? He says, I got it. I know you. And just wait. I'm gonna make sure that I share this with you, and it's gonna motivate you, and you're gonna want to get right back at it. Do you guys want to know what he said to me? He goes onto his phone and boopy boopy boopy. He just immediately looks something up, and then he says, "Only 3 women in your age group participated in the haunted half marathon last year." Mic drop. That is all he had to say. Let me say that again. Only 3 people in my age group, 3 women in my age group ran the half marathon last year. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all I needed to hear to get me back on that treadmill. And not only am I going to be training for a 5K or a 10K, I am going to train for the very first half marathon. I talked about doing a half marathon last year, and then I just didn't do it. I did a lot of 5Ks and a lot of 10Ks. And I am sticking to it. I have been consistent with my training, and he is a marathoner, so he shares a lot of great tips with me. And I'll be talking more about that as we get closer to October. I love doing the haunted half in October. So there is that. Let me know if you enjoyed today's junk journal with me. I know that I didn't talk a lot about what I was doing, but if you have any questions, please let me know. And I hope you enjoy this. The shaker window was a lot of fun to do. I love my affirmation card, and I love all of the little odds and ends that I used in this layout. This layout makes me so happy. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And thank you to Angie for my beautiful birthday card. I have a slideshow here for you so that you can see images of the beautiful card and also the layout. Just some great pictures here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And remember, be kind to yourself and only speak positive things. You have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.